And nobody else is talking. Okay. I've already done it before I want some. Yeah, let me take it out. Oh, no, let me take it out first. Let me do like this. I'm not going to stay long. Where is my? So now I'm just going to put my trade allowance. This side or this side? You use 0.5. Hmm? Mm. Then on this side, you will do 1 inch. But yeah, this place first, you blend it out so that it will look straight. You know, because I say person leg, okay? So yeah, we'll put 1 inch. In fact, I'm going to minus, but I will do it later when I'm done cutting. There's no point. Let me do it. I'm going to minus 0.5. Do you know why? I'm not putting that in front, so I want the front to sit properly. So now I'm going to put my sewing allowance 1 inch, 1 inch. I don't know if the value probably. Ah. So here you come up. Hello. So here at this point, you're going to come up by 0.5. If you're making a trouser with band, you understand. But if you're making, we'll come up by 0.5. Here, I'll go down by 0.5. I'm going to connect this to this front. I use a straight ruler. I must use a straight ruler. So now that we're done with this, we can now add our sewing allowance, which is 0.5. Hello. Oh, everybody don't. So I will connect with this one like so. How are you? What's useless? I'll connect. This covula has to stay like this. Did you have any question, or you just listen? Yeah. Did you understand what I did?
Yes. Understand?
So explain to me what I did from beginning to end. Explain everything that went on. That's how you learn, because you're not writing, you're not. So if you explain it, if you can explain it, that means it has stayed. So I want you to explain, even if you don't stay close to the camera. Just explain.
Yeah.
So what is this one?
Yeah, is the
From here to here is what?
Is your hip allowance.
How?
What they call it,
Crotch depth.
Crotch depth.
So from here to here is what? My crotch depth. How did I get it?
By dividing your hip allowance into 4.
Hip measurement, not hip allowance.
Hip measurements into 4.
So this particular one that I did there, now what did I do?
This line.
You notice I minus 2 inch.
Yes.
So the 2 inch I minus is for my band, the waist, the trouser band. Okay. And that's the 2 inch I minus. So how did I get this one? Which line is this? You see, that's why I said you should write. This is my hip line. This is my hip line. This is my crotch depth. I went up by 2 with my hip line, and I now placed my tape measurement. And I said minus 2, I have 9. And I told you that normal standard measurement that I use from waist 42 to 43, 44 for the hip measurement is 9. When I'm sewing skirt, if it's skirt now, it's 9 that I will use for this person normally. So I now told you that, are you seeing that my is aligned? So how did I get this one? This is my what? This is my new.
That is your new.
How did I get it?
You had to divide the round knee into 2.
No. I divided my trouser length.
The trouser length into
my
2.
trouser length plus the sewing allowance into 2.
Yes.
In fact, that's an error actually. I'm supposed to divide my actual trouser length into 2 before I add the sewing allowance. My actual trouser length is 40. If I minus this, it's supposed to be 40, 45, right? It will still come out nice though. But when teaching, you have to teach the right way so that you don't make that mistake. Right? So if I divide it now, standard new measurement is around 2022. You know why it will not be a problem? Because if I check the measurement, so it's still going to give me the same thing. Do you understand? So I did 4.5, right? You see that just slant difference, like, but that slant difference can cause a lot. So now I'm just going to correct it. Where's that? 'So we are good, huh? Do you understand everything? Okay. Yes, I am. He's asking if I'm a tailor. Can you cut?
Cut something.
No, I'm leaving it like this. Yep, yep, yep. Give me more. Oh, you're hungry. It was chicken. Such a wonderful show. I make a no cooking now. No cooking that rice that you have been training to eat. Not now. That excess at the down that I did not, that part of that other one that I cut out. Mm. So it's dragging the fabric. This one is affecting the fabric. because of the weight. So for the back is always bigger than the front. That's why I have to use more fabric space, unlike the other one. So now, where's my chalk? So we're going to extend this crotch depth now. I'll extend it this way. I'll extend this one this way. Then the hip line, the same thing. Okay. So now this is my crotch line here. I will hold here like this so that I can get it. Okay. So the alteration usually for the back is always on the upper part from the crotch line upward down towards here. Not too much work. So what I also need is this line here. You see, this is my baseline here, right? This line and this line is all I need. Okay, let me do the normal baseline first. If it was on this thing now, on pattern, I'll just trace it out and I'll be going through all this route first. Sometimes using pattern is double stress, but it has its benefits. But once you cut, you make mistake, you need to adjust. So now that we have this, I'll just move this like this. I'm going to connect this one. Then I'll connect the hip line. Connect crotch depth. Right? So now the back and the front is not the same. So now this is where the alteration starts. This is very important too if you're making trousers. If you want to use my method, there are different methods to make trousers, but this my method is different from the other one. If you want to use this method, you have to pay attention to this one. Yeah, I'm going to go in by 0.7. That's from this crotch line for the front pattern. I'll go in by 0.7. In the waistline, upper part, I'll go in by 2. Going by 2, like so. I'll connect this to this. See. So I no longer need this first line. Are you seeing the way it goes like this? That's because your back is not straight. So if I'm making trouser for man, I usually don't use this method actually. No, I don't. It may work, but I don't use this method for men trousers. I'll use it for women because our shape with men shape are not the same. So now I'm going to take my waist measurement, which was 9.5 bar. 38 divided by 4. So here I'm going to come here and I'm going to impute the waist measurement, the hip measurement, sorry, on the hip line. Hip measurements, I will connect it straight to the crotch measurement, like so. I'm going to put 1 inch for ease here on the hip line, and I'm going to connect it back to this point. Same 1 inch as same. Now for my back, I'm going to put 1 inch dart. The back dart, 1 inch. Then 1 inch sewing allowance on the waistline. You know, we have altered it. The front has allowance, but because we've altered the upper part of this front, the allowance there disappeared, but the allowance on the lower part here is still the same. Do you understand it? Because what I have here is what I'm cutting here, but here altered the upper part. So now I'm going to add my sewing allowance here, just here, 1 inch. So I'm going to connect it like so. I will trace this. So for the back, because it's going to have a band, from here now I'm going to go up by 1.5 at this point, right? If not, that's why you are not a woman. You know they wear trousers. It's not like you're not a woman. That's why I see some people they go so trousers for they go down because they no go up by if it's going to have a band. But if it's not having a band, you're using your full crotch depth. Do you understand it? It's going to get there. So remember that for the front, at the end of the front here, I went up by 0.5, right? We're going to repeat it here. So I'm going to connect this to this. That's same. So now that I've done that, I'm going to add my sewing allowance. So basically, sometimes you see some people, they'll just go up by 2 and not add any more allowance because it's going to work. So I'm going to add my 0.5 allowance, 0.5 sewing allowance, 0.5 sewing allowance. I just this is not the entire your head because you say you know the wear trousers.
No. The answer
To shock you.
yeah, I make it.
Just say ask me question. I'm not gonna answer you. I'm gonna say you don't know. So now for the crotch depth of this one, my crotch depth, I do get my crotch depth. I divide it by 20 for front. The front is divided by 20, the back is divided by 10. If you want to do for the crotch extension for the back, you divide it by 10. So what I will have, since what I have for the front was it's supposed to be 2.03, but I did 2.5, right? 2. So what I will do now is 4.5. Divide it. It's supposed to be 4.3.
But you just divided by
Yeah, for 2 divided by 10 will give you 4.3, right? 4.2. Okay. I said I did 4.5 for 2.5 for the front, right? So I'm doing because she dropped weight. Okay. Her usual weight hip was 43, but she has dropped weight. The last time I checked her measurement, she was 44, even more than less than 44. But I'm using 42. Sorry. So I'm using this. I increased that. I added 0.5 on her crotch actually, just in case she goes back to her weight, right? So that the trouser will still fit. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing this. So what I'm just going to connect the same method. Connect from here. Once it touches this line, I don't have issues. The back this thing does not need to come up like the front one. Just slants like so. Once it touches here, you are good. It does not have to get to this point. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. Since you understand, now we're going to do. I will take this back. going to add 0.5, 0.5 on both sides of this trouser because your back trouser has more ease than the front. Back is always bigger than the front. So I'm just going to add round on this side and extend on this other side too. Add 0.5 here. Add my 0.5 here. It's smiling. Know that you can always count on me. For sure. That's what friends are for. In good times. So you see that this is the extension, right? For the back. But I added 0.5 sewing allowance, right? I added 0.5 here. That's for ease. It's not for sewing. The back is usually bigger than the front. In good times, in bad times, know that you can always count on me for sure. And that's what friends are for. So I'm just gonna connect like so.
Do you have any
Hmm?
so that we use it to practice? Shorts, like for short. Maybe we should try what it does.
Shebi you get Ankara.
Which Ankara?
Ankara what remain for use the Ankara.
No,
I'm
see,
teaching
you
you, I
say
will
you
still
need.
give you material.
No, now, like
I'm not serious.
among your.
I do not have.
For short, it's not for long.
Baby, I no get. So here you're going to add sewing allowance for the back. I didn't add much sewing allowance for the front. Reasons are because I want here to be flat, like the flap of the front to be flat. So basically, most times I only add like 0.2 and I will sew with 0.5. So it gives me that grip that I want. That's why the front of my trouser is always very flat. But for the back, you're going to add sewing allowance. So I added 0.5 for the back. You're a very funny girl. I should give you material. Do I have? These are customers' material. This woman now.
Like pieces. I'll just join and make something. Pieces.
I don't have my love.
Hello? 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 Good morning, how you doing? I go and sit beside you. That my phone bar no deal. That's why. I know they bed though. We move so like they cut clothes. I they watch. Eh.
That your mouth.
She said that's the apprentice now, be.
Oh my, her apprentice, carry notebook, nothing. I don't know if she won't learn.
Eh? Ah, God. You call market. Okay. Okay, now with your husband.
Okay. I'm done cutting. I can
Hope you go with the
attend to
children, so
question.
that
Do you have any question? If you were watching me, I don't know.
baby boy, how are you?
I wanted to
If
say
you
hello if
see
you're
me now,
watching
you
me.
start to
If
dey
you're
cry.
still here.
Your mama don't tell me, say, man, no touch you again. Say, she know they give person, they carry
I'm
pikin,
done
dey cry.
cutting. If you have question, I'll take question, then I will leave. I don't
Wetin
intend
I
to
dey
stay
do?
long.
Okay,
Can
now
you
my
reduce your
thank
voice?
you.
Do you know I'm live?
She did like she did. Okay, now. Bye.
So if there's any question, if you're still viewing, you have
I don't
question,
follow her.
you can ask me because I'm done cutting and I will go offline.
Explain so what she got to do for the line.
So if you can see when you look here closely, I don't know how close you can see these extensions here. Right? That's how your trouser is supposed to be. I know my method of cutting is different from some persons. It's still the same thing. You still achieve the same thing. This is the method I use. It works for me. I have been struggling to make trouser for a very long time that I when I make my trouser, it doesn't come out how I love, because I love pants. I love to wear trousers. So I had to invest in learning it, and I learned this way, so it was better. So now that I've gotten what I want, I'm going to cut out this one. Remember I said for your baseline, that line you asked me that time, why did I mark that one? That's a baseline, that is a guide to take my measurement, right? And also that extra one will help me to put my sewing allowance from there. So now you remember that I went up from that baseline, which is where I took my normal waist, my normal crotch depth. From that point I placed my tape. I went up for the side, I went up by 0.5, right? That's 0.5. And I at the crotch line here, I went down by 0.5. That one was to give me, your front is not straight. The front is that slope, to make your trouser balance. Sometimes you look at the trouser, the back is high, the front, it comes like this. That's because of how our body shape is built. So now I'm going to cut it out because I've actually achieved what I want for the back. So now I'm going to cut it out. Sometimes you may just do this and you forget to do that. This is how your perfect trouser with band is supposed to look. High, low, the side has to be equal. If I move it now, you see that the side has to be equal. When you're sewing, you see that is equal. So I'm done. Come and tell me what I did at the back. How did I achieve this? Tell me the things I did. Tell me the difference between the front and the back. I want to know if you understood what I did.
The back side, you said you need to be extended because of our shape. Because the back.
Tell me what I did. What action did I take? What did I do? How did I alter the back from the front? I need to know
you pinned down this place to get this point at the back.
I pinned down where?
Here.
What's it called?
the crotch depth, the crotch.
No, this is my line, my hip line, the crotch line,
crotch line,
the straight crotch line. This is crotch depth.
Okay, this is the crotch depth. This is the crotch line. Okay. So you pinned it down to achieve this point at the back, and then you extended it because of our shape, the way our back shape is. It's kind of convenient.
It's not funny now. You're not being serious. It's not funny. I'm taking time to teach you something. You are making jest of it. It's not funny.
But what I explained is not.
It's not correct. You are not explaining like, okay, if I leave you to do this thing, will you be able to do it?
So I'll have to take that.
You you cannot ask me question. Because you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. You did not write. You said you're going to record. Did you record? You want me to tell you to record? Anyway, you said you don't wear trousers, so you don't want to sew trousers for somebody. There's no point wasting my time. That's all. I'll make your eat.